Welcome to more Gran Turismo Sport Closed Beta Specialtatin. Today we have basically NASCARs with some whole heck of a heap of good NASCAR drivers on Gran Turismo. We have the Oval Alien such as NASCAR fan and a whole heck of a heap of other good drivers as well. And this is actually from the previous running. This ain't of like the newest round with this track, but nonetheless, it's still pretty a good race. And I know I didn't exactly start the highest, but on an oval, as long as you stay in the draft, pretty much wherever you are in the general pack, you could still have a chance of finishing higher or lower, depending on a whole heck of a heap of circumstances. And I know with racing like this, it can go kind of random. But when it goes good, it just goes so good that it's still really fun to do. And even though, as I've said before, I ain't really racing as much, these are races that I tend to enjoy doing, even though I ain't necessarily always the best at them. But actually, a lot of people ain't necessarily always the best at them because, again, it is more randomness through here and there is more chance of dirty drivers through here. So, it ain't necessarily always going to help your driver rating, but it is fun, and really that's the main point of racing, is to have fun, and racing like this is pretty cotton picking fun. As of now, though, the races actually go pretty cotton picking good. Nobody's wrecked yet. This is the field of the best drivers in qualifying, but still, even with some of the best drivers, there's usually wrecks by now, and there actually hasn't been yet. I don't even know if there's really been any passes yet. If there is, it hasn't been much here. This is still pretty early in the race, but it's been more calm than usual. This is kind of weird. I'm kind of taking the approach now around this track is, for the most part, just to try to stay out of people's way until the end. Unless somebody's downright blatantly racing dirty, and I need to just get them away from me as quickly as possible so they don't cause a huge wreck. As long as everybody's racing clean, I think I'd either just rather be in first or be in the back of the pack at this point. It seems like any time I end up in the middle of the pack in these races, bad things happen. But as of now, I'm doing exactly what I said I'm doing now. I'm in the back of the pack, so as of now, nothing really is all that bad happened yet. So, yeah, there you have it, folks. Annoyingly, with me being in the back of the pack, if I were to try to move up on the Volkswagens that don't have as high of a top end as me in the SLS, I could get by them on a straight, but they handle better, so, even really, if I did want to move up through the pack, I couldn't unless somebody ended up making a mistake or wanted to pass ahead. If it ends up getting more wide ahead, then that'll slow everyone down in general, and that's a good time to pass. But as of now, I think everybody's kinda using the same strategy as me, just stay out of each other's way for now, where it is still relatively early in the race. But that's a pretty cop-picking good strategy. If everybody runs that all the time till the end of the race, I'd love that, honestly. No wrecks and really no worry of a wreck if everybody does that. But, yeah, we'll see how long that continues for. Once it gets to, lap 9 or so, it's a given that there's going to be some borderline dirty to straight-up dirty driving. And, that's still kind of annoying, but it's to be expected, just because at that point you kind of need to start moving up if you want to have a chance of winning or a good finish or whatever your expectations are for the race. I guess where I'm still in the lead pack for as long as I am here, my expectations are, I say to win, but there's still a percentage chance of it happening. I'm still mathematically able to, by just speed of runs, if other people ahead start battling, I can get enough momentum where I could physically win. But actual expectation, I would say just finish higher than I am right now. I qualified 5th or 6th or something, so maybe I could finish 4th and then be higher than I qualified. That'd be pretty cool. I'd take that. That's really not that bad. And as of now, again, I'm where I have been the whole race, but the field is pretty much where they've been the whole race. So I couldn't really do all that much there. Erie Fan 97 took more of a bottom line through there, didn't carry as much momentum, so I got around him because there was no point in not getting around him. I didn't just want to break on a straightaway and lose tons of momentum, but if he wants to try to get back by, I'll just let him, because again, fighting in the middle of the pack before the race is really about over just seems way too dangerous for it to really be worth doing. as long as you're in the lead pack, you still have a chance of progressing up the field. And actually, this lead pack has another driver now. That driver sort of came out of nowhere behind me. So that sort of makes everyone's chances all that much lower. But then again, it also sort of makes chances of finishing in a higher position slightly better in a way, just because there's another car that could end up slowing each other down. So, I mean, it could go either way. But really, it could go either way with any size pack, too. It just sort of depends on how the other people race. And as I said, everybody as of now is actually racing pretty good. I ain't really gonna knock on fake wood yet, but it's getting near to that point, folks. It's actually staying calm. I'm almost speechless here to stay calm this long. This is the cleanest race I think I've honestly ever seen. There hasn't even really been much incidental contact because no one's really dropped all that many spots. So, yeah, I mean, there's people on my inside there where they sort of moved out of the conventional draft line and were trying to do like a 2-wide thing like a NASCAR, which is dangerous, but I mean, nobody's wrecked yet, so if y'all want to do it, not mess up, I don't care. But again, I'm sort of kind of getting towards the middle of the pack here, but it is sort of kind of getting near the end of the race, so yeah, I mean, I'm taking a little bit of a risk, but I ain't really taking the most of a risk. If I could be in the lead right now, I definitely would, because I mean, that's still at an end of a pack. It's just at the top end of a pack, so there's still a lot less chance of wrecking in the lead than pretty much anywhere else. There is still having to block everyone else and try to stay ahead, but I mean, now that it's the last lap anyway, it doesn't really matter. If I'm definitely in the lead in the last lap, I'm going to try to win the race almost no matter any circumstance. But as of now, I ain't. But I am in 5th, which ain't bad, but I'll definitely try to do better here. But I mean, everybody at this point's thinking the same thing, and you can't blame them. The car behind me is done. You can't have more speed, but my car has a little bit more left. The Genesis has a little bit more left. So us two probably have the best chance of passing the Volkswagens, but the Volkswagens do have the handling. So well, let's see how this goes, folks. I got a whole heck of a heap of run out of that turn, though, and they're going to the bottom. So somebody goes to the top with me, I should be good. And actually, that car ahead of me went up to the top where I got a draft. So Jiminy Cricket, those cars near me took the bottom line, and I had a whole heck of a heap of momentum to the top line. So staying out of the way worked pretty picking good for me. I went from 5th to 3rd in that final lap, and well, a podium really ain't all that bad when you qualify quite a bit off a podium, so I'll definitely take it. Everybody stayed clean that race, none of the lead pack wrecked, and the lead pack actually shuffled around enough for me to gain spots in the lead pack. So yeah, that was pretty picking fun and pretty picking clean, and I hope all the races from now on go something along the lines of that, not necessarily me finishing 3rd. If I can win a race, that'd be cool, but just along the lines of good, clean racing that's fun and competitive. If all that can continue, then I'll continue specialtating races like this for a whole heck of a heap of time till the beta ends, which may not be a whole heck of a heap of time, who knows. But anyway, as always, yeehaw!